Hey guys, I was out driving around with a friend of mine tonight and we happened to find ourselves in the same area as that old TV and radio repair shop. So I decided I'd stop by thinking I would just find a hole in the ground and I could take some pictures, put up on my Flickr page. But no, it's actually still there. Really nothing left inside, but in the backyard there was a tractor trailer when I was there before. And the contents of it seemed to be boxes of some miscellaneous old stuff, but it had all been dumped out into the backyard into a big mound, and it was under a couple feet of snow and ice. We poked around in it a little bit, but it just didn't seem worthwhile. Well, now that all the snow and ice has melted, well, it still looked like a big mess, but in a few minutes of poking around, we started seeing some actual decent stuff. So spent about an hour and a half there. It was well after sundown and we just had one flashlight between us, so it was still kind of messy going through it, and I probably will go back again, but anyways, here's what I found. Amazingly, even though in this pile was a bunch of tubes and bricks and rocks and concrete and such, almost nothing was broken. So here's some of the things we found first. This looks like a bag of capacitors, 630 volt, the common yellow ones like you get from Just Radios. So I'm hoping these are still good. And I don't see a date code on them anywhere, but they don't look like they're too old. Let's see. I found a bunch of tubes, including. Well, actually, at first we found a bunch of projector lamp bulbs, which are kind of neat looking, but not particularly useful. Let's see. Yeah, like this guy. I don't have a projector or anything that would, even remotely use these. Well, like I said, they look kind of neat, so what the heck. These guys I thought were especially kind of neat looking, as like a parabolic mirror in there. And they all appear to be used. Then came across some boxes with Russian writing on the side, and then I saw Svetlana. I believe, well, I don't believe it. I know these are tubes that were made in Russia. I don't know if they're still around anymore. I know there's Sovtek that's still around, I think. And inside, I found some of these guys. I think these are 6550s. That's what it says up here on top of the box. Of course, it also says bad right next to that. So, we'll see. Got a few of them. I was hoping to find more, of course, because these are the only decent audio tubes I found in the whole lot. Here's a Sovtek tube. It's 5881. It was amazing, out of all these tubes in that place, no decent, respectable audio output tubes. A whole lot of TV tubes, though. And I got more of those. Gas regulator tubes, a few more radio tubes. I'll have to sort through all these and try to find the numbers on them. Oh, it's a ballast tube. It's a TV horizontal output tube. It's kind of a cool one. I believe this is from World War II, the 800 series of early transmitter tubes. No, it's 3C33. Well, I know there's some tubes like an 826 that look like this. Very distinctive base style on them. Let's see. Projector bulbs. Type 42. I can definitely use that in a couple of my Philcos. Found a few potentiometers. I hope I can get some use out of. And found one nice set of gold-plated terminals. There's probably a lot of stuff like this out there, but they were in individual boxes that were inside of other boxes on top of other boxes, and all those are completely soaked and disintegrated, and it's just really, really miserable to pick through all this stuff. There's one big audio looking tube. Oh, 47. I think my Philco 70 might use these, but I've already got one or two of them. But oh, still nice to have. This is really my first chance to look through these because it was dark out there, and I just was grabbing tubes and throwing them in a bag. Can't find a number on that guy. Oh yeah, little light bulbs. I don't think I have anything that uses these. I was hoping for the bayonet style, but these are a little too small to use on any radios that I've seen. Grab this tube of all-purpose metal polish and cleaner. I've never heard of this brand before. I don't know if it's any good, but what the heck, I'll give it a try. Found this bird filter. I thought might be of some use to somebody. Low-pass filter, cut-off frequency of 400 megahertz. Kind of cool looking, I thought, so I grabbed it. Yugoslavian tube, KT90. I have no idea what that might be. Some Memcore resistors. Let's see what's in. Oh, power resistor. 5K, 25 watt. Might have some use for that sometime. L5. I don't think I ever heard of that before. OB3 gas regulator. And then, as we kept digging and searching, I came across a bunch of Vidicon tubes. These are camera tubes, black and white camera tubes, like that Sony 3210 I did a video on. Got some Hitachis. Let's see. Oh, there's at least one RCA. Oh yeah, here. Still factory sealed inside this plastic container. 8844, that might mean it was made in the 44th week of 1988. I'm not sure. Here's the RCA Vidicon. Oh, on closer inspection, doesn't appear to be an RCA, so somebody might have just reused the container. Oh, plus it looks like the getter's bad, so this tube is probably shot. As is the Sylvania that we found just lying outside. All the getters have turned white. But the ones in the Hitachi box sure look to be unused, new old stock. H8337 it looks like. Getters on these look good. So, not sure what cameras these might work in, but neat to have at any rate. Don't have any other Vidicon tubes. And let's see, last few tubes here. It's 6L6Gs. I don't think I've seen a 6L6 in this early ST package style before. Cool. Usually, actually I think all the other ones I've got are metal or in a more modern style where it's a tube more like that. 6A6, I don't think I've heard of that type before. And I guess regulator. 6K7, those are good to have. These are used in mid or late 30 radios quite commonly. Now, the next thing we saw, I'm glad I had my friend with me because he He seemed to have better eyes than me. He started spotting actual full CRTs sticking out of the rubble. Amazingly, none of these were broken. Let's see. I said I haven't really looked at any of these yet. Used to be Thomas Brand 5ABP31. Definitely a scope CRT. An oscilloscope, that is, with I think P31 is a short persistence blue-white phosphor. And this, if you recall my earlier videos on the stuff I brought home from this place, I found another one of these. But on that one, the getters were clearly had gone white, which means the tube had lost its vacuum. But this one looks to be fully intact and quite possibly functional. Don't have a scope that uses it, but this is just, I think, so cool looking with the dual guns inside there. So this was for a dual trace oscilloscope where they literally had two independent electron guns to trace out two signals on the front of the 5-inch CRT. Also found this little 2-inch guy. Probably, no, I was going to say it was either a 2AP1 or a 2BP1, but it's a 902A. There was an early series of RCA CRTs like the 902, 913, and so on. I bet the pinout is the same as one of those, either 2AP1 or 2BP1 though. And we've got this guy, which is Dumont 5DBP7. So nice to find some that actually have the labels on them. It's funny, the ones that we found outside in the snow and the muck are in better condition than the ones that were actually inside the structure. All of these have clear labels on them, very easy to read, and they all seem to be good, at least visually. You know, they all still have their vacuum. Then we get to the last two, which are the big prizes, I think, assuming they're good. This, I believe, is an 8XP4 test CRT. There's also an 8YP4 test CRT. Those pop up all the time. But the XP4 seems to be far less common. Well, looks like it's bad, though. Oh, well. Looks like it's lost its vacuum. I thought it might have because the base was in bad shape. Oh, yeah. Nipple's broken off right there. Oh, well. Throw that out in the garbage. But there's still this, which I was shocked when we saw this. I thought at first it's got to be a 7-inch scope CRT, like a 7VP1, but no. This is, in fact, a 7JP4 CRT, and the getters look good. This is used on all those early 7-inch TVs that I've got up there. And they're pretty hard to come by, so assuming I can clean off all this muck and it does good, that was definitely the best find of the evening. I'll probably go back there one more time in daylight so I can get a better sense of what might be left, even though it's so miserable to go through. Oh, wait, no, I'm not done yet. I forgot I found some books too. That was really a shame, is that there were a lot of really interesting books out there, but they're all so wet and nasty. Some more than others. This one isn't too bad. A little bit newer than stuff I ever work on. This is transistor stuff, but I know some guys that are into color stuff, and I saw CTC 17 through 40, and I thought one of them might find it useful. Same with this guy, Color TV Troubleshooting Crypto Guide. This is definitely very wet, but I'm hoping it can dry out and be useful, because some of the pictures in here are really awesome. They're definitely early color sets. It's a big round color picture too. And just judging from the guy's clothing, his glasses and so on, that's gotta be late 50s, early 60s. Yeah, you can see how primitive these sets are. The Danish modern styling with little legs on the sets. Not right there, CTC 15. So, I'm not sure what the best way is to dry out a book, so it doesn't get too bad, but well, I'll do my best. Just a little Google search to see if somebody has any suggestions. And I found a couple volumes from Philco Home study guide on radios from 53. I'd love to find the whole set. I guess I just have volume 5 and 9. So this is about, or 5, sorry, 5, 6, 9, and 10. Reactance, impedance, and power in AC circuits, RLC combinations and AC circuits, basic principles of vacuum tubes, and finally radio circuits. Found a Simpson voltmeter, 0 to 150 volts DC, seems to be new in the box, but that's still good. And finally, found a flyback. Box is in miserable shape, but maybe it's still good. Be a pretty darn big one too. Oh, that's why. It's so big because the rectifier socket's built right into this whole module here. These wires around the bottom of the socket here work to prevent any corona or arcing. This would be attached to the high voltage potential and will kind of be close to all the pins, and that would have the action of kind of keeping everything in an equal potential so it wouldn't arc over. It's in pretty good shape. It's for a Motorola, part number 24K71213. No idea what that might be. I'm guessing like mid-50s, but yeah. One way to find out is to look it up online. I couldn't end this video without testing the 7JP4, so I pulled out my trusty SonCourse CR70, got it all hooked up, so let's see what happens. Got it turned on, and yes, we have filament glow. Alright. HK shorts, G1 short, cut off, awesome, cut off control is working, black box, yeah. No, emissions are dead. But then again, I haven't had this turned on very long. Yeah, let this run for a while, see if that improves any. I left this running about 10 minutes and still had virtually no emissions. I was about ready to write this tube off when I figured I better double check my connections, and what do you know, I got it wrong. According to the setup chart here, 7JP4, the cathode should be pin 2 and grid 1 on pin 3, and what do I have them on? Pin 3 and pin 4. I'm off by 1, so let's get that right and try this again. So I'll start out the shorts test again. No shorts, no shorts. Cutoff control works. It's supposed to be set inside that black box. And then emissions. Now that's what I'm talking about. That is fantastic. That's better than any of my other 7JP4s. And finally, life test. You push this button, it cuts the juice to the filament by a certain percentage, and you watch to see how much the needle drops. On a really good tube, the needle won't drop at all. I'm pushing it right now. And that needle is not moving at all, which is fantastic. Now I'm curious to pop this into one of my little Motorola sets and see how much brighter it might be. Because, like I said, this tests a lot better than any of my other 7-inch tubes. Oh, finally, one last kind of neat thing is that you can actually sometimes see the glow on these CRTs. Yeah, let's see if I can get it on the camera. There we go. So with just this moderate amount of voltage they use just to test the electron gun, you can actually make a bit of a spot on the front of the CRT. Alright, that was really it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed this little video on my latest finds.